All right, I think we are on and recording. All right, I'm with uh, interviewing my second site supervisor. We have Ms. Smith here, and I guess I'll just roll through the questions that we are assigned to ask y'all, if that's okay. All right, number one, name of technology coordinator being interviewed. I guess they want to know what your name is officially.
Casey Ray Smith.
Oh, okay. Oh, the middle name too, right on. And question number two, what is your title?
My title is Media Specialist.
Okay. What type of degree is required for your position?
So you have to be certified with a media specialist. So I actually, to get this position, I did a master's program in instructional technology with a media certification. And then once I was in this position, I added my specialist with an instructional technology coach certification.
Okay. That's what I'm pursuing, the master's with instructional technology. I'm just not pursuing with the media specialist.
The media part.
I'm not pursuing that part right there. What are your job responsibilities?
So I am the school's media specialist, and currently this year, so I'm in charge of the library. I am in charge of curating a print collection. We dabble in a little digital collection as well. And then I'm also for lack of a better term, a first responder for any technology issues.
Okay. Next question is, how are you meeting the needs of faculty and staff during the transition to remote learning this semester?
Okay, so we don't have any remote learning this semester, but when we were doing remote learning, once again, I was the liaison for any technology issues, and prior to going to remote learning, I would do professional learning with our LMS, which is Google Classroom, and then any other digital programs that we had or still have at that time. Okay. So I do a lot of professional learning with teachers and even parapros as well.
Okay. Oh, so there you seem like you are like you said before, you're the point person for any and all technology. Okay. Next question is, how are you meeting the remote learning needs of students and parents?
So our most recent dealings with remote learning would have been the 2021 and 2022 school year. So last year we did have a virtual academy, and our students used Edgenuity. And so if students had issues with logins or things like that, they would call me. And parents would also call as well. And then if students had school issued devices, sometimes they would arrange to come up here so we could work through any glitches or errors like that. But I would also collaborate with our parent involvement coordinator before we had a virtual academy and we went straight distance learning. I coordinated with her to develop like how-to guides to use their technology at home, because at that point we had very few school issued devices that students took home. Yeah. So we would develop like how do I do this program on my personal phone? How do I do that on my personal tablet or Chromebook type thing? Because it is different with a school provision device versus your personal device. And so we had to work through those issues. And
then since coming back to school from the pandemic, there's been a big push to implement more school-owned devices to alleviate the need for the BYOD or BYOD Correct. Device, stuff like that. Okay.
Right. So now at our school, at J. Macon Middle School, we are one-to-one, but students do not take home their device. So they're one-to-one throughout the day. And just leaving an admin meeting right before this meeting, we're looking at possibly piloting with 8th graders being able to take devices back and forth from school to home.
All right. You probably want to start small with that kind of program.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kind of shifting gears a little bit. what are the typical daily activities of your job?
Well, so I'm in charge of our morning announcements. So as soon as I come in, we get that up and going, and we are an intercom. We're kind of old school technology. We found that that's actually more effective for our building if it comes overhead. You don't have to have subs or people who aren't used to pulling up announcements to get those turned on. So we do that. I do collaborative lessons with teachers. So before becoming a media specialist, I was a middle grades reading and writing teacher. And then I'm also certified social studies and math. So I do a lot of collaboration with teachers, integrating research and technology. I also, per our district, am required to teach specific digital citizenship lessons. So I push into, in the past, I've pushed into science classrooms to do that, just so the kids see me in different capacities and different roles. This year, because of lack of substitutes and things like that, I kind of push in when maybe we don't have a sub, and so I can take care of two birds with one stone type deal. I'm in charge of, I teach one class period. I teach a 6-period creative writing class, which is code for our yearbook committee. So this is the first year we've had a yearbook class, because prior to that, I was the person that did the yearbook. So we turn it into a class to get students involved. I'm in charge of our website, our school's website. So I have to update that all the time, almost daily. A lot of collaboration with our parent involvement coordinator, who has to upload certain Title I documents so they're visible to everybody. I reach out to vendors for technology. I attend PLCs, specifically our ELA PLC, because we have a new curriculum this year, so I can see how the Media Center can support that curriculum piece.
Okay. Wow. All right. Next question is, do you have a budget that you control, and how do you make decisions on selecting resources for your stakeholders?
So I do have a budget. Our Media Center has a budget that I control. I'm the one that puts in the purchase orders with those account numbers. And the way that I make decisions, so I look at our curriculum. This year we do have a new reading and writing curriculum. So that's that heavy collaboration piece with them. So what types of books do they need to support student learning in those subjects? And then I also reach out to science, math, and social studies to make sure I cover the big topics that they're standards that they're going to address in their classroom. We allow students and teachers to do requests, so purchasing requests. And then I also look at our technology needs. What are things that, since we're one-to-one now, what do I need to help support the Chromebook usage and things like that? And then that all goes into, so I kind of brainstorm my thought process along with my technology committee. And then we work together and create a media plan. And we, as a committee, approve it. And then I pass it along to my admin, and then they look over it and add any notes or take anything away that I need to change. And then that's kind of my plan for the year.
Okay. Next question. Have you had an opportunity to impact technology implementation throughout your school? And would you describe a specific example? It kind of sounds like you do that when working with teachers and, using a certain curriculum to align with certain teacher standards and such.
Well, so, and I don't know if this is kind of in the right lane of what the question's asking, but in last school year, we were with ESSER funds and CARES Act money and all this influx of money. The district purchased Chromebooks for every student at our school. And it wasn't just our school, but I took it upon myself. I kind of saw the trend where this was going to be one-to-one is kind of what the ultimate goal is for the district. And so I made the executive decision, along with some prompting from my district level boss, Christy Jones, our instructional technology coordinator, to push to roll out one-to-one at our school. And so we talked about how just because your school is one-to-one doesn't mean your test scores are going to go up. A lot of times you actually see a decrease if you're not implementing the correct way. So kind of working through that is right now how we're impacting. So we're year 2. We learned a whole lot year 1 about management and things like that. And so we're trying to work on that SAMR model, SAMR model. So we're not just substituting. We want to kind of keep moving up the scale with that.
Sure.
So I feel like right now that's probably been my biggest impact so far.
Okay. And in the classes that I push into, I've noticed that, yeah, teachers have a lot more resources. They have a lot more computers to where all the students have one in their classroom, but it doesn't necessarily mean the test scores are going to increase.
Right.
It kind of seems like, yeah, we were given all this technology, but without the professional development that needs to accompany it, some teachers aren't very clear on what routes or what directions they need to go.
Am I using it just to use it to say we have a Chromebook and like every kid has it, or am I making it more difficult in the same worksheet that I would have given them? Am I just making it a digital worksheet now, kind of thing? And so that's where we want to get away from. We want to move up that ladder all the way up to redefinition, and you can't do that every single time, every single lesson, every single class, and it's kind of a mindset. You have to pick and choose where you're going to make the biggest impact when you're using your technology, because sometimes pen and paper is technology. You know, we've come a long way before like hammering out on our stones, type thing. So you kind of have to pick and choose and use that professional learning that you have, like, how am I going to impact the learning the most? What's going to be most effective? And I think as teachers, we have to take ownership of that. And like you said, that professional learning through instructional technology coaches and things like that, that really helps people kind of understand, oh, I don't have to use it just to say that I used it. I'm going to use it and it's going to be impactful and make a difference in the learning.
And I think that's what I've witnessed a lot of that in just around the school I'm at and the classes I push into. Yeah, they have that mindset. Exactly. Next question. Does your school have a technology committee?
Yes, we do have a technology committee. And the breakdown of our committee is it's led by me, and then there's an admin member on it. And by admin, I mean either an AP or principal sits in on it. And then we have one representative from every grade. And then we also and then we add in one try to have a different content represented. So like we have a science, math, social studies, an ELA person. I try to have, because at our school, ELA is divided into reading and writing. So I try to cover that. And then I try to have a connections teachers. And for us, the connections would be like an elective person at high school. So PE, health, computers. So I take one person from the connections team, and then also I have a person from our special education department.
Now, with your background, do you serve as one of those positions?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Well, and considering your background, you said you had a background in writing. Do you sometimes do double duty, not only as the president of the committee or leader of the committee, but also the writing liaison for the committee members?
I have in the past kind of been that literacy person on the committee sometimes, but I also like to try to push past like just my knowledge base and my preferences. So I kind of like to hear from, because now at this point, the last curriculum that I taught in the classroom is no longer being taught. So now, since it's a new curriculum, I try to get somebody in, but I do have, like, we try to have a parent representative too. I forgot to add that. And so like right now, the media secretary, she's our parent representative because she has a 7th grader at our school. Okay. So we do sometimes kind kind of pull double duty, just with how often we have to meet and things like that.
Well, if you already have her in house, you know,
Right.
might as well, you know.
And she keeps
Can I
it
ask you
real
some
and
questions?
honest.
What's that?
She keeps it real and honest, so we
Hey,
get it.
that's what you want. You know,
Yep.
you want transparency, you want honesty, you want openness. The next question is, how are technology decisions made?
So at a school level, the committee, we make decisions like wants and needs and issues are brought to the committee. We discuss them. But as far as actually going forth and purchasing technology or bringing that technology into the building, Glenn County has a committee called Curriculum and Instruction Committee. And this committee has to approve any type of technology purchase. So for instance, just from my admin meeting, we're looking at a math program or a math program that allows practice and this type of stuff is called Delta Math. And our teacher's been using the free version, which free version is fine. But if we want to purchase premium, we have to take it to the Curriculum Instruction Committee. So I'll be responsible for talking to the vendor and seeing how switching from free accounts to the paid accounts will work. I'll get prices. I'll have to do research and see, you know, how is this supposed to improve learning or how does it impact learning? And then I gather all that and we have a form that we fill out, and it's a narrative. So you write in answers to questions. You submit it to CNI, to Curriculum Instruction. They review it, and then you present it at a meeting. And recently, the meetings have all been virtual. So on a Google Meets call, and they'll decide. And the members of the committee include assistant superintendents for K through 5 and then 6 through 12. I think they're called coordinators. So like our instructional technology coordinator, the literacy coordinator, the math coordinator, science coordinator, they're all a part of that. Our ESOL director is in that. Let's see. And then they have a representative from our IT department. And so they'll all make a decision. So technology based, one of the big components is that IT will look at it and see if it works with all the laws, like the Children's Internet Protection Act. They'll look at FERPA. They'll look at all types of things to see if our hardware can support it and that type of thing. So you have to take it to Curriculum and Instruction before you can purchase.
And that's wild that you said y'all are, you know, playing with the idea of converting to Delta Math, and that's a program we use here already at the high school level.
Yeah, so we've been using, like our teachers have been using it for years, just the free version.
Oh, okay.
And so they want the paid version. And so I'm glad you said that, because there's a list of resources. So if Brunswick High is already paying for it, then we can bypass the Curriculum and Instruction process.
Okay.
And I don't have to do all that extra research.
Because it's already approved somewhere in the county.
Right. If it's already approved somewhere in the county, then we don't have to take it.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, last two questions right here. Going to kind of shift gears. What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is that I get to see every single student in the building. So at some point throughout the year, I'm interacting with all the students. And so they get to see me and I get to see them in different roles. Like I can be their teacher one day. And sometimes like, oh, Miss Smith, you're subbing. No, I work here. I'm not subbing. I'm just going to be your teacher today. They see me, like one of my favorite things to do is breakout boxes with kids. So they love it when they see the boxes out on the table. They're like, yes, we're going to the library, see Miss Smith and do a breakout box.
Yes.
So I just get to see and then sometimes they just see me, they're running in during their lunchtime to check out a book, and we just talk up books because and the kids are like, you read these books? Yes, I read most of the books I read are middle school books, like geared towards middle schoolers. And so that's the best part, is like just getting to interact with the kids on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Because some of the kids act a certain way, or they do, behave a certain way because they see their teacher every single day. But then like when they come and see me in the media center, they're a completely different kid. So I get to see all aspects of kids. And because I do the yearbook and stuff, they see me at all their events, and they're excited when we're there and stuff. So
yes. They always, whenever I was in the mainstream classroom, and if I had students playing sports, they would always ask, hey, will you come to my game? Sometimes I could, and
yeah,
it just made them, it made them excited. So that was very cool. And then last question, what do you find to be the most challenging part of your job?
So the most challenging part of my job is, of course, the technology to me. Like when it doesn't work, what are we going to, like, the world doesn't stop. We still have to teach and figure out ways to get around it. But I want to make sure that all my teachers have all of the tools, technology tools that they want and need to teach, working on a daily basis. And so that can be the most challenging part. And with the other aspects of my job, a lot of times I can't just drop everything and go run and try to check on something. And so, and because we're a tiered system, so like I'm just the first responder. And then if I can't do anything, then we have our IT person who then can come in and has more access to things. And unlike the high schools, the high schools in our district, they each have a designated IT person. We share our IT person between us and Sterling Elementary School, and I believe Golden Isles Elementary School, so we share between three locations. And last year we shared between, I think it was up to 4 or 5 different locations. So a lot of times you don't get an immediate answer from IT because they're spread out between other schools.
And I don't know, it kind of makes you wonder, with the bigger push to use more technology in the classroom, that would be the next step of, hey, we need to have more personnel.
Right. And I think everybody would be super ecstatic if we could get a designated person, or even like J. Macon and Sterling Elementary School are right across the street from each other. So if we could just share one person, that would be great for us versus sharing with 2 other locations. But I know last year that they did hire, so we're down to only sharing between 3 locations.
Okay.
But if people ever come from the high school or go to the high school, they're like, what? They have their own IT person. Stuff gets done a lot faster.
Yes, but maybe the middle schools and the elementary schools, maybe they'll catch up with like you said, with the bigger push and all that right there. Well, that's all the questions I have. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And that's it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.